Joe Blasco here from UATV, and we're back with Donna Bard. Donna.
Happy to be here.
Well, no more happy than I am to have you here. I tell you what, let's talk about your school days. What do you remember? Well, first of all, what brought you to my school?
A roundabout way. It's interesting. I started off in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
I was working for a photographer, doing a little modeling, and the makeup artist that he was hiring was so horrendous. I used to redo everybody's makeup in the back room, in the dressing
I think
room.
we've all kind of done that.
We've all kind of done that.
We've done it.
And he found out I was doing that, so he started hiring me. And
The makeup artist?
The photographer.
Oh, the photographer.
Started hiring me.
I thought maybe the makeup artist started hiring you.
No. She got fired and I got hired. So I worked probably 6 months for him. I was working on head sheets. We were doing head sheets.
Yes.
And I figured, you know what? I'm making so much money doing this. I might as well go to school and really get a good education on how to do this. And I was going to college at the time.
Yeah.
And yes, formally trained. So I researched it, and the salon I was working at the time, Love Beyond it was called. I spoke to the owner and I said, I want to go to makeup training school, and I've heard of this school in Hollywood, Joe Blasco, and what do you think about it? She said, don't you dare, don't go. And I'm like, why? She said, you'll never get your money back. At the time, I think it was $10,000. She said, it will take you forever to get your money.
It still is.
And
you got rich.
Let me tell you, after graduating, within 3 months, I had paid it back.
See? Immediately,
there
right?
you go. Yes, but
I think that's been the case with most of you, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, right away.
Well, I got the scholarship.
Yeah, that's right.
Within
you were lucky.
Within a few months, I made it.
Well deserved as well.
Thank you.
But I remember showing up to the school after calling Mr. Baron von Mock.
Yes.
And speaking to
Franz von
yes,
Mock.
he was so amazing. And
Was
I walked
he?
in, he greeted
He
me
still
at the
is,
door.
I think.
He was so proper, and I went, oh. It's like the first time I ever saw a man in makeup.
Yes.
He had a full Joe Blasco makeup on.
Oh, big time.
Eyelashes.
Oh, several sets.
Lipstick. Lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
Blush.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is where I want to go. I was so excited.
Right.
This is really Hollywood. This is where I want to be. And
It didn't work that way with everybody.
Kelsey described it exactly. You sat down and you showed your portfolio, and it was so proper, and you turned the
Well, he
pages, and
originally,
you're like,
he originally worked for Elegance.
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and there was something going on, and he decided
He was quite elegant.
Oh, he was very elegant. Oh, I know, a really nice guy. No, a really nice guy, but really kind of
missed him.
so dignified, the Baron.
Yeah, it brought so much to the school.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
It made it so exciting.
yeah.
I mean, for a young girl from Phoenix, Arizona, who had never seen anything like that.
Right.
To show up to a makeup school with this guy greeting.
I don't know that anybody had ever seen it.
Right out of Shakespeare.
No, not too many people.
Well, he made up for everything that I wasn't.
Thank God.
Visually.
Yeah.
So I thought that, okay, I'm the big rebel, and I'm running around town, and I'm doing all this makeup and everything. I need somebody there, to really
Mm-hmm.
represent me, And he had a lot of, cojones.
Right.
And chutzpah, big time. And, everybody thought he was Joe Blasco. And he didn't stop them from thinking
No,
that either.
not at all.
I remember I went into a little shop on Hollywood Boulevard, and he used to wear a lot of rings, And sweet guy. I'm not telling tales out of school. These are nice things. And I went into this place on Hollywood Boulevard, and I went in and I said, I'd like to see these rings here. These are nice. And he looked at me and he said, well, did you have identification? These are quite expensive rings. And I gave him my identification, right? He had to make sure that he checked my credit card and everything. I mean, we're talking over the top. And he said, you're not Joe Blasco. Joe Blasco is one of our clients. I said, I beg your pardon? What does Joe Blasco look like? Well, Joe Blasco has large pompadour hairstyle, wears makeup and has eyelashes and nails, and at that time I knew that they thought that Franz was Joe Blasco. So it couldn't hurt.
business card.
Couldn't hurt.
That's right.
He was terrific. You know, I loved it.
Yeah.
So anyway, where were
Going
we?
back to the school, another one of my favorite teachers, Harry Blake.
Oh, Harry was great.
He was so
He was the head of the makeup department at
NBC.
At NBC for a long time, did Johnny Carson's makeup, and he was actually trained originally by Rudy Horvatish at ABC. He was the assistant head of the department at ABC Television before Dwayne Fulcher. Yeah, good.
When he would teach the classes at lunch, he would be very mysterious, and he would sneak us into the back room. You know, and
I
we
beg
were
your pardon?
supposed to be into the back room. He would sneak a few of us into the back room. It was like this little dungeon room, very dark, and we'd go in and turn the lights on, and there were all Joe Blasco books, personal books, and personal magazines, and makeup, and it was like, you know, an Easter egg hunt. We'd just go through, digging through, thinking really we were not supposed to be there, but I think it was
Well, you
okay.
weren't.
And we would go through all your books and all your magazines.
great
It
is
was
that?
so much fun. We'd be sitting on the floor and it'd all be laid out.
Harry,
And
rest your soul.
Yeah, Harry made us believe that we weren't really supposed to be there, but I think later we found out it was probably okay.
I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah.
Because it was all part
But
of
he
the
made that,
education.
learning
you know,
experience.
he made that very special because we
Yeah.
thought we
Well, he
were
was
getting
very
away with
smart.
That's
something,
great.
you know.
That's
Yeah, he was
We
a
were
great guy.
being sneaky, and he would sneak us back there. He's like, come on.
How clever of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you sure it was Harry Blake and not Harry Thomas?
Oh, is it Harry Thomas?
Yes,
Thomas.
because that didn't sound like Harry Blake.
not Harry
Wait,
Blake.
is it Harry Thomas?
It was Harry
It's Harry
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yes, that's
The
right.
older gentleman.
Yes, yes.
Yes, very older
Yes,
gentleman. Yes, that was Harry Thomas.
Yes, it was Harry Thomas.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
Yeah, he would sneak you into the back room.
Quite a
was-
difference.
Most definitely, Harry would sneak you into the back, especially if you're really.
Well, there's more than one of us. It was, you know, a couple.
But Harry perfected the
Harry
art
was
of
construction makeup.
food makeup.
A food makeup.
That's right. He taught us how to do a
Peanut butter.
Cheerio makeup.
Yeah, well,
What do you
A
do with
monster makeup.
Cheerios?
You'd glue Cheerios all over the face,
Oh yeah.
and then
For leprosy.
I
missed that part.
Cheerios. Yeah, we would glue Cheerios all over the face.
because he used to do Superman and
Yes, yes.
Well, let me
54.
explain this to you.
That's
Now, you're
right.
going to see Harry Thomas because I have several hours of Harry Thomas. The vintage Harry Thomas, the makeup artist who did like movies like Night of the Blood Beast and Voodoo Women on the Moon.
Superman versus the
Yeah, well, and She
Martians
Freaks.
or
He did
something.
She Freaks, and the first film that I saw that Harry Thomas did was a film called The Neanderthal Man. Remember that?
Yes,
Oh man,
yeah.
that grabbed
Oh,
me,
yeah.
man. When I saw that, I said, I want to do makeup.
That's right.
You know, so and Harry was so great. And you know, I was teaching a man by the name of Frank Zacchia, who became Tino Zacchia, and he said to me. He said, I was giving him private classes, and Tino said to me, Frank said to me, you know, I've got to leave here and I've got to go over to Harry Thomas's house. And I went, what? Harry Thomas? I said, why are you going there? He says, well, he's going to teach me how to do an aging makeup, right? And I said, do you need a model? Right, I was like 19 years old, right? And he says, yeah, I do actually. I said, I'll sit as your model. So we went over to this little bungalow over there on North New Hampshire in Hollywood, and we went into the back like this little tiny bungalow, and I pretended like I wasn't enthused, but I was just out of my mind. I was meeting Harry Thomas, the man who did the Neanderthal Man, right? And I sat in the chair, and Harry picked up an eyebrow pencil. It was a Max Factor Auburn eyebrow pencil. And he did the entire aging makeup
that's his
with
favorite
that pencil.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was it. And he shaded and he did but that was my introduction to Harry Thomas. That's who you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
was
would
the
sneak you
guy.
into the back room. all
He
right.
was the
Harry
guy,
Thomas,
yeah.
yes, God rest his soul.
He was a good guy.
God rest his soul. He gave me one of the greatest gifts that any makeup artist could ever give me. Well, Vincent Kehoe gave me a wonderful gift as well. But Harry gave me the original contract that was signed between the Max Factor, the original Max Factor company, and Jack Dawn. Because not too many people know that Jack Dawn really came in 1939 because of the original Max Factor Sr. died in 1939 and was taken over by Max Factor Jr. But Max Factor Jr. was not a chemist.
Wow.
He was not even a makeup artist. All right? And he had to hire someone to come in to do the creative, the lining colors, and to create and to maintain and the professional makeup. And it was Jack Dawn that was brought in by the Factor company. I have the original contracts, and it says everything.
So did Max Factor make all the
Everything.
makeup for the Wizard of
And it
Oz?
shows
then?
who was doing the makeup for them and who was creating it. And it was Jack Dawn who did the makeup for the Wizard of Oz, and it was Jack Dawn who was privately and secretly, I might add, hired by that company to come in and to create and to continue those special theatrical colors. I have it in black and white. All right, so anyway, and it's in my museum. If you want to see it, come on over. It's in Hollywood. All right, we have 2 minutes before we have to break for commercial. A story from the time you were in school. Anything you can remember?
Let's see. One of my
Anything you can
favorite,
quote?
One of my favorite quotes. God, it would have to be some kind of Kelsey Fry thing.
Well, I'll tell you what. What was the favorite part of the program? I mean, you've gone into commercials.
Right.
Obviously, you didn't care for the monster makeup
Right.
and the prosthetics.
Well, it's funny. I tried to do the whole monster thing.
Right.
After graduating Joe Blasco, I got my first. I mean, it was probably 2 years into doing commercials,
Right.
and it was my first big one where I was going to do something that I could use my Joe Blasco experience other than my beauty. I had to do both caps. I had 2 actors. They were blowing out a birthday cake. The birthday cake explodes and blows all their hair off, and all they have are little pieces of hair. And it had been so long since I had done a bald cap,
cap.
and I knew things had changed.
Yes.
So I called Kelsey. Kelsey said, call Dick Smith. And I'm like, oh, Dick Smith, oh, okay. Called him up on the phone. He actually answered the phone.
He's the greatest.
And because he had a special effects class,
Yes.
and I didn't have time to go to the class.
He has that course.
He had a course,
Yes.
correspondence course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I said, well, can I do the course? I have a week.
Yes.
He says, well, usually we send tapes back and forth. I critique the tapes. You do a little this. I go, I don't have time for that. I need to know it
Now.
today. So he's like, okay, send me the money, da da da. He sent me the books. I went through the books. I'm like, I don't think I want to get into this. But you know what? What little I learned from his book, there's a lot to learn, of course.
Absolutely.
But I had 1 week.
Yes.
I did my little ball cast, the
Yes.
explosion. It was all beautiful, and I thought to myself, never again. I am going to stick with beauty. I go, this was not for me.
So that directed you to the commercial
Yes,
world.
definitely.
That's fantastic. You know, Dick Smith is going to be one of our guests.
Excellent.
And I've already invited him to be one of our guests on a show that we have called Makeup Through the Ages. And I believe he's going to be coming to our big studio down in Orlando, to the Orlando MUA TV studios. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I have to call him.
Great.
Yeah,
And you know,
terrific.
anyone who's a graduate.
And our producer is now talking to us.
Yeah.
And another
You could be
thing
in the
is that,
audience.
you know, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this, and I'm being prompted right now. We're going to be doing this show, our graduate, our alumni show, you know, periodically, probably on a monthly basis. So if you are a Joe Blasco graduate, either from the Hollywood Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center or from the Orlando Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center, please email us. Let us know that you're available. Send us your resume. Let us know how to contact you. And that would be to at info@muatv.com. And we'd love to have you on as a guest. All right, so don't forget that.
I just
So-
want to, before you say goodbye, I just want to add that if you're a graduate, you can also come to these studio audience performances of
Yes,
graduates
yes.
in
Well, thank you for that, Kelsey. Or my little angel off in the wings. Yeah, obviously, if you are a graduate, if you are a currently enrolled student, if you're a student at another makeup school, come and see these shows here at MUA TV in Hollywood or Orlando. All right, we're here for you. Okay, now, for goodness, where are you going from here?
Well, I have a little movie starting November 10th. It's called A Hoot Night in Hollywood.
A Hoot Night in Hollywood.
Hoot Night in Hollywood, and 4 weeks. It takes place in a 24-hour period, and it's in a bar scene, supposedly the most famous high-end bar in Hollywood, and it's
The Frolic Room.
producers- yeah, exactly. Your producers, radio executives, TV executives, movie stars, gangsters. Everything takes place in a 24-hour period of time, and the craziness that goes on in Hollywood, basically.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
Well,
a
good
lot of
luck
fun.
with that, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much for
very
being with
Thank
us.
you.
You are a joy. You're a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're just as beautiful today as you were.
Oh, thank you very
then.
much.
All right. And we're going to Donna Bart, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be right back right after these words. Don't you go away.